One of the greatest fears that first-time property buyers and even existing buyers have is how to protect their property. And in this video, I'll be showing you step-by-step ways by which you can protect your property anywhere in Nigeria, especially if you are buying land for the first time. Before I jump into it, like this video and make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get notified whenever I release my next video. The first thing to consider is the genuineness of the property you are buying. If you are buying land for the first time or you are even an existing buyer, you need to consider the genuineness of the land that you are buying. Because no matter what you put on a fake land, it cannot stand. If you put a C or 4 on a fake land, it will not stand. So you have to be careful. The protection of your property starts from you getting a genuine property. There are 4 people that you can buy land from in Nigeria currently as I speak. You can buy land from government, you can buy from a person, you can buy from a family, and you can buy from a company, maybe a real estate company. Most first-time property buyers make this mistake. You need to understand that a family is not a person and a person is not a family. A person is an individual who has the right to sell the property, and a family is a group of people who have the right to sell the property. There must be a consent of the whole family to sell the land. The first thing that you need to understand when you are buying from any of these 4 categories I mentioned is the right they have to sell the land. For example, if you are buying from a person, you need to ask the person, what right do you have to sell this property? If you are buying from a family, what right do you have to sell this property? So the next thing that you want to do, still on the genuineness of the land, is to do your due diligence. And there are 3 basic ways by which you can do your due diligence. The first way is to do a title due diligence. The second one is a social due diligence, which is not a common way of doing due diligence, and I consider it as one of the best ways. And the last one is a legal due diligence. I have a video where I explain the 3 ways by which you can do a thorough due diligence. You can check my channel to look for that video. Make sure that you look for that video and watch that video, because that video is going to help you as one of the ways by which you can protect your property. You need to buy a genuine land. If the land is not genuine, no matter what you put on it, it cannot stand. And that is the beginning of frustration for you as a first-time buyer or as an existing buyer. So the best and the first way to protect your property anywhere in Nigeria is to make sure that the land that you are buying is genuine. The second way to protect your land anywhere in Nigeria as a first-time buyer or as an existing buyer is to put a solid title on the land. This is one of the challenges we have in Nigeria. Most people don't like to put solid titles on their land in Nigeria. I don't know why they do that. I want to believe it's as a result of ignorance on their part. Most of the times they buy the land and just do a little fencing around it, or they begin to cultivate the land. They can put a farm on the land, maybe a cassava farm or a maize plantation, believing that God will protect the rest for them, that is the best way to protect their land. You know, farming on your land or fencing your land around is not the best way to protect your land, even though those are one of the ways to protect your land. But the best way to protect a land is to put a solid title on the land. After you must have bought a genuine land, you need to put a solid title on the land. Solid titles can be expensive, no doubt about that. But we are not talking about a title being expensive now. We are talking about security. We are talking about the fact that you can leave the land for 15 years and nothing will happen to it. We are talking about the fact that you can leave the land for even 50 years and travel abroad, come back to meet the land, and nothing will happen to the land. And that is an advantage of putting a solid title on your land. If you don't put a solid title on your land, even if you fence it around, even if you farm on it, even if you give it to people to be farming on it, they can still take such land away from you. So you need to understand that you need to put a solid title in place. And there are things you still even need to do before putting a solid title on the land One of them is collecting a receipt of payment. Most people don't collect a receipt of payment once they buy a land. You need to collect a receipt of payment. It's one of the proofs that you can tender at the court or wherever, if in the case of any dispute. So you need to collect the receipt of payment. You need to make sure that there is an agreement between you, the buyer, and the seller, and that the agreement is prepared by a lawyer. And make sure that the agreement is prepared by a lawyer. Make sure that the agreement is not written by the seller, but that the agreement is written especially by your own lawyer. And make sure that the seller signs the agreement with the seller's witnesses, and make sure that you too you sign the agreement with your own witnesses. So by the time you do all these things, then make sure that you put a solid title in place, do a registered survey of the land, do a CFO of the land. If you can follow the process I just shared with you, I can assure you that nothing will tamper with your land. Even if you have bought the land to keep for years to come, or you have bought the land to give to your children when you are old, I can assure you that nothing will tamper with such land, because you have bought a genuine land, which is the first step to protecting your land, and you have also put a solid title on the land. The third way to protect your land is to take a physical possession of the land. This is what most people know how to do. If you take a physical possession of the land that is not genuine and you have not put a solid title in place, you can still be frustrated with such land. Make sure that you take possession of your land, which is the third step by which you can protect your land. And how do you take possession of your land? You can put a corner piece on your land. You can fence your land around, and you can also give your land to artisans to work on it. You can give your land to a mechanic or to a block industry to be using the land, but make sure that you do that in the right way. There's a right way to do that, to give your land to a mechanic or to a block industry or to whoever wants to do something on the land. I also have a video on my channel where I explain how you can give your land to people to manage for you, the best way to give your land to people, because we have seen cases whereby people gave their land to people to manage for them, and on the long run the people collected the land from them. So make sure that you check my channel to watch that video on how you can give your land to people to manage for you, the step-by-step process that you need to take to give your land to people to manage for you. So make sure that you take possession of your land, because the seller might still want to sell the same land to other people, especially if you bought the land from a family. They can still go ahead to sell the land to other people if they notice that you are not doing anything tangible on the land, and they notice that you have not been around for years. They can make an attempt to sell the land to other person or to other people. But once those people they want to sell your land to come to the land, they will see a physical evidence that this land already belongs to somebody. That is one of the advantages that taking possession of your land will do for you. So I've shared with you 3 major ways by which you can protect your land as a first-time buyer in Nigeria. You need to buy a genuine land, and then you need to put a solid title on that genuine land, and lastly, you need to take possession of your land. And before I conclude this video, I need to let you know that whether you are a first-time buyer or you are an existing buyer, make sure that you engage the services of a lawyer. Because when you engage the services of a lawyer will help you to make sure that you are buying a genuine land, and a lawyer will help you to check the title documents, whether they are genuine or they are fake title documents. And a lawyer can also help you to perfect the title on your land. I believe if you make use of these 3 ways that I have shared with you in this video by which you can protect your land, I can assure you that your land will be protected to eternity. If you found this video useful, like, comment, and make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get more videos like this whenever I release them. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.